RFK Jr. was the big shot in NewsNation's first nationally televised town hall last night. Went really well. Elizabeth Vargas, a consummate pro. Lots of questions. And I think one of the things that stood out about Kennedy was his take on Ukraine. And it is a stance that doesn't just break with his own party's views, but seems to defy the reality. Take a listen.
We have neglected many opportunities to settle this war peacefully. I think the way that we have conducted the war is bad for the Ukrainian people, is terrible for the Ukrainian people. And we have turned that nation into a proxy war between a proxy war between Russia and the United States.
Proxy war, yes. Why? Because instead of American boots being on the ground, like we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan, northern Pakistan, the northwest frontier provinces, Ukraine is fighting its own fight with our help. Isn't that better than American boots being on the ground to our way of thinking these days? Today, as I showed you, Putin emerged in a bizarre video. I don't know that it's bizarre, but it's different than what we thought. We thought he was hiding. Now he's out and he's open. It's not bizarre. This is what politicians do. Selfies, shaking hands. So what is the reality for him and his grip on power and what it means about what's happening in Ukraine? But we need to get this straight. It's definitely going to be weaponized in the upcoming elections, okay? Ukraine is going to be seen as a sign of strength or as a sign of weakness. So you might as well get your head around the reality, all right? Let's bring in former U.S. ambassador to NATO and U.S. special envoy to Ukraine, Kurt Volker, and the Democratic co-chair of the Congressional Ukraine Caucus, Mike Quigley. Good to see you both. Thank you for joining me at the new house here at NewsNation. Appreciate you both. Ambassador, let me start with you. To Bobby's argument that we could have ended this so easily, so many times, that we are antagonizing the situation as America, and Russia is really just defending itself against an ever-encroaching NATO. Fair assessment?
No, he's got it completely wrong. The framing of that is completely wrong. Ukraine was minding its own business, a peaceful country there sitting next to Russia, and Russia attacks it. Why? Because Vladimir Putin wants to rebuild the Russian Empire. And Ukraine, in his mind, doesn't exist as a separate country, separate national identity, separate language. He just thinks they're confused Russians and he wants to take it over. So what's happened here? Ukrainians, not the United States, not anybody else, the Ukrainians decided to defend themselves because it's their homes, their families, their land, their people. They are fighting back to protect themselves, just like you or I or anybody in this country would do. So that's what the Ukrainians are doing. Now, they don't have all the equipment that they need. They don't have modern Western equipment. They've asked us for help. We're giving them the equipment in order to help them defend themselves. But this war would have never happened without Putin's aggression, and it can only stop when Russia stops its aggression.
One more point of pushback for you, Congressman, and the point of pushback is this. No, it's on you, Quigley, because you guys were okay with America putting missiles way too close to Moscow. And if anybody did that to America, as Bobby referenced with his uncle when Russia was putting missiles in Cuba, which is not as close to America, though obviously too close, than where America and NATO have situated missiles in proximity to Moscow, we would have gone crazy and done the same thing. So you forced his hand by putting weapons too close to him.
Yeah, and look, let's get back to some of the other history that took place. Ukraine agreed to give up its nuclear weapons in exchange for defense security, which the West didn't entirely live up to. That's right. And the West didn't entirely live up to. I mean, I'm glad they're unified and they're helping a great deal. And I just have to add, when I hear this stuff about a negotiated settlement, inevitably it means that Ukrainians have to give up their territory. Right? You have just rewarded the aggressor who would just take that time to reorganize, rebuild his forces, and come back again in some certain period of time. And it isn't just Ukraine he's targeting. It's Moldova, it's the Baltics, and more.
Hey, thank you for watching. please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.